Okay, in the last video, we made the foliage for the trees, and did the first one together, and then I said you could work on the others on your own, or you could follow along with me. So if you worked on your own and didn't finish the video, make sure that you do go back and name each tree in some logical way so you know which one is which. So now we're going to set up the materials so we can have a little bit of random color variation. So that will help make our trees even look more like a forest with variations. Let's go to the shading tab here at the top. And we're looking at our trees. And let's just start with our pine tree. And we're looking at the shader editor here at the bottom. So instead of one color, we want to have some random variations in the green. So let's first add, by hitting Shift A, color ramp. And that's going to allow us to pick some different color greens, and we'll plug that into the base color. Next, we need to pull in some random value. So we're going to hit Shift A, and we're going to find the object info node, and we'll put that here to the left. On this, you have some different options. The very last one will give us a random number for each different object, or each time we repeat the object. So we're going to plug that in. So then let's set it up so that we have maybe a dark green. And then we're going to come over to this side and let's make a lighter green. Let's vary that and make that a bit more yellow. And let's make this one a bit more blue. And that will just help us get some different types of greens. Also, let's push the roughness to 1 because trees typically aren't glossy. You have a bunch of different leaves going a bunch of different directions. And I just noticed the top of my pine tree looks kind of funny where the randomize pushed those around. So we'll fix that real quick. So if you notice the top of your pine tree has done something similar, we'll just go into edit mode. And I'm just going to real quick switch to wireframe, select all the vertices at the top. And we're just going to right click, merge vertices at center, and make that a perfect point. And that will give us fewer vertices and clean up that mess. Okay, so that little detour aside, we'll go back to the material preview. We're going to go to object mode, and we're going to see if this will now make different color needles on our pine trees. So I'm just going to duplicate this on the X, and I can see that it automatically made this a slightly different green. So you can play with this and change the overall lightness and darkness and the tints of green to whatever you want. So let's go ahead and delete our extra tree, and we have this set up. And to make our life a little easier, we're just going to select all of this, hit, I think Control C should copy, and let's go to the material tab. Let's switch to bark, and let's just select all of this and hit delete, and then Control V will paste. So this will give us the same setup. And now for our bark, we're just going to change this so we start on one side with a grayish color, and then on the other side, let's push it into the brown range, which will be down here in the orangish red area. Because some tree bark is more of a gray, we typically think of brown because that's what you see in cartoons and when kids color. But if you go out and look at real trees, the bark is often more of a gray, but occasionally you get into the brown. So this will give us a nice range of variation. Next, let's select one of our other trees. Let's go to the leaves. Let's select and delete that. Control V will paste. And for this, you can leave it where it's different shades of green, but I think it looks more interesting to get some fall colors into it. So I'm going to delete, or I'm not going to delete, I'm going to take this one tab And we're going to switch this to a brown, like the leaves are dying and starting to get ready to fall off. Let's make one here. Let's push this into the red range. So you have some nice red fall leaves. Let's hit plus to add another one. And let's push this one into the yellow range. So green will transition to yellow, yellow will transition to orange to red, and the red will start transitioning to brown. So if we just take one of these and duplicate and then hit Shift R to repeat, we can kind of see that we're getting good variation of those leaves. Oh, let's go here. And once you have a bunch of them, you can move this slider, because I've discovered that some of them, the random number isn't always evenly distributed. So you kind of end up getting a lot of a few colors. So if you see that you have too many reds, you can start pushing some of these other colors over to get more of the color that you want. So that will set up all of our materials and our trees. And let me get rid of all these extra versions. Let's go ahead and add all of this to our asset library. So let's add our materials. So here I have the bark, and I think, yeah, I can do it here from the panel. So here's bark, right click, mark as an asset. Leaves, right click, and mark as an asset. Let's select our pine tree. Let's select needles, right click on needles, mark that as an asset. And we want all our trees to be assets. So if I just select all of these at once by left clicking and dragging, right click, mark as asset, you can see that puts the little library books next to all of these. So they are now assets. So make sure you save. And then all of these will be available to use in our scene as assets that we can drag in.